story about the Cash App founder. Now, I want to show you something else from RFK Jr. because he pushed back heavily on CNN. Now, this is from a couple of years ago, but I saw this yesterday and I was like, I wonder how many people have seen this particular video here. He was a guest on CNN and he decided to call them out on their bias. Listen to this.
Since, I published an article, I think in 2003 in the Atlantic Monthly about the case after the trial. And after that, I was contacted by one of the people, by a man named Toby Bryant, who is actually a cousin of the basketball player, Kobe Bryant. And Tony Bryant told me that he was there the night of the murder, that he brought to Greenwich the two men who murdered Martha Moxley. They said prior to the murder that they were going to take her caveman style. They were two kids from New York City, a very big man who was 6'3", 250 pounds, who now lives in Bridgeport, Connecticut. The other one lives in Portland, Oregon. I have spoken to both of them. One of them is black. When Martha Moxley's body was found, it was covered with hairs from a black person, which wait
a sec, Robert. Let me interrupt for 1 second. Your article in the Atlantic. Is this
Jeffrey Toobin?
Yes, your article in the Atlantic.
Well, and Jeffrey, you should disclose that from the beginning, you have absolutely been dogged long before Michael was convicted that Michael was guilty. No. And that was your bias from the beginning. No, and that was every news report that you did on that. Jeffrey was.
Well, my bias was watching the trial and watching the evidence. And I, like the jury, thought he was guilty. But what I read in today's opinion was that the judge completely rejected the whole Kobe Bryant thing. He rejected the argument that Mickey Sherman made to the jury and the argument that you made in your Atlantic article that the real killer was Ken Littleton. What the judge said in today's opinion.
Jeffrey, you're up to it again. You're up to it again. You're twisting the facts here. The judge in this trial said that Mickey was unaware that he would not fault Mickey for not having found Tony Bryant and the gentlemen who were with Tony Bryant. So he didn't reject that theory of the case. He didn't fault Mickey for not finding them, which I would agree with.
This is the key point. This is the key point, is that the judge said the evidence all points to your other cousin, Thomas Skakel. He said the failure here. Now, do you agree?
This is what you did. No, this is what you did with Michael. You're trying to convict somebody before they have a trial. Thomas Skakel's never been on trial for this. And I never said that Kenny Littleton did this murder. And I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't convict somebody before they went on trial like you do, Jeffrey. What I said is that there was stronger. What I said was that there was stronger evidence against many other people than Michael Skakel, and what his attorney failed to do, which any attorney, their first year criminal attorney, would do, studying criminal.
By the way, Skakel, who he's referring to, Skakel is the nephew of Ethel Kennedy. Ethel Kennedy is the widow of U.S. Senator Robert F. Kennedy, FYI.
The law is you bring in that evidence because that goes to reasonable doubt. If you can point to somebody else and say, this person is more likely to have committed this crime than the person who's on trial, why, that is the basis for reasonable doubt. And that's what the judge was saying. The judge was not saying that Tommy Skakel was guilty, and you should apologize for that. Tommy Skakel for besmirching his name the same way, Jeffrey, that you did for a whole year on CNN against my cousin Michael Skakel, who is innocent of this crime and who was, as I said, was 11 miles away with 5 eyewitnesses that Mickey Sherman failed to turn up and that were right in front of him. And that's why the judge said that he was reversing this, because those people said he was not there.
But so he's
Deanna said, I love that he doesn't back down, quiet as it's kept. If you go down the rabbit hole of the jabs and side effects, he is extremely well researched. And this statement here, I've heard this from others as well. I encourage you guys to read what he has written about this. I gotta be careful how I talk about here on YouTube, but I would encourage you to read what he has written in reference to the jab.
He's right about that.
So didn't go too well for the commentators at CNN, right? He wasn't afraid to call them on their BS, especially this involves like his family, so to speak. It will be interesting to see what happens, but he is running for president through the Democratic Party. Unfortunately, this is going to be interesting. 2024 is going to be wild. I've been trying to tell people about this a couple months ago. Wait till next year. It is going to get crazy,